Hi, I'm Jeff Johnston, host of the Living Undeterred podcast. And today I have a very special friend and a special guest, someone I've known for a long time, but today we're really going to get to know each other a little bit better. So Wes Bruns is somebody that I learned a lot about. We're about the same age. I think basketball is probably what our initial bond was for me. I played at Solon and went to play 2 years in college basketball, and Wes had a much better career than I ever had playing basketball. And then my kids ended up going to Cedar Rapids Prairie, which is, I started to read about a little bit more about, your accolades. And then I heard about your story, and I'm like, wow, and then I bump into you maybe at Target or we bump in somewhere, and we never had a chance to just talk about it. And I can say from someone who is a grieving parent and someone who's, a member of this club that no one asked to join, you were a member of that club way before I was. And so I, in a way, you don't know this, but I looked up to you and what you were doing. And I always kept thinking to myself, man, if Wes can make it today, so can I, And now today I've got this absolute wonderful opportunity for you to share. And you have an exciting project coming up with a book we want to talk about, how people can get the book, how they can learn more about you. But just in the short amount of time we've had time just to talk before this show started today, Wes, I can see that you wear your emotions on a sleeve and you're authentic and genuine. And, if I'm criticized for anything, it's probably that same thing, is that I probably cry too much. I probably share too much, but I'm 60, man. I'm not changing. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the accolades of, we never played each other, Prairie and Solon.
No.
We're so close. But
are you the same age?
I'm actually 58.
Okay.
So
I played like with Al Lorenzen and Marv Cook and those guys.
2 years ahead of me.
They were in my class.
Boy, that was a great class. I mean,
84, 82. Yeah.
It was just loaded.
Yeah.
Good athletes.
It was a good time to go to the field house in Iowa City and play and, just all the pickup games and stuff. I miss basketball a lot. I'm sure you and I could just sit here and talk about hoops.
Yeah. I love the game. That's kind of where my life was turned to with my dad and our family.
Yeah.
Just the whole process of this, coaching all those years and the accident, obviously losing my dad, when I was a senior in high school, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I think that really bothered me. More I think about it, never went for therapy. As I always say, my therapy is going to the gym, in a sweat.
Yeah.
And actually that's what saved my life, my health or my fitness level.
Right.
And it's a pretty amazing story, and I'm blessed and I'm able to share it. And I was called to do this when I resigned at Jefferson High School last spring. Sorry if I get distracted. My short-term memory kind of leads me astray.
It's all good. Everyone watching this is going, yeah, Jeff does the same thing.
I decided I'm going to write a book. Mike Fetkether, who gave me my first job, Mike, and he has a men's group.
Yeah.
And I spoke twice to their association, their group, and they said, you got to put this in a book. And I thought, no, maybe.
Right.
And so when I did resign at Jeff last year, I said, you know what? I have time. I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. So I looked into it, and lo and behold, went with Jeff Johnston, the Gazette. He directed me to different people, and it didn't work out. Eventually got a hold of John Gordon. Yeah. And in their direction, then his son sends a message, hey, can we just do a Zoom call? I said, sure. And then within 40 minutes, he says, you got to get this in a book. The mom steps in, Catherine, she steps in. They all kind of worked it out. They redirected me to Streamline Publishing out of Kansas City, and it's gone from there. And my ghostwriter, I don't know if I say her name, but she did.
It's okay.
We worked for 4 months. Yeah. And it was Zoom call. It was emotional. And she goes, man, you're so easy to work with. I said, well, we just schedule a Zoom date and we do it. Yeah. And it really helped me reflect on my life. And I researched a lot. I made phone calls. I learned a lot about my dad's history. Holy cow.
Isn't that great about a book?
Yes.
Yeah. Because not only about learning, but a book now is like memory recall.
Yes.
Like my book I wrote after Seth died. I read it the other day, and there was most of it I would have forgot by now. Yeah. The stories. If I wouldn't have put it in writing, So you mentioned you referenced an accident, so we're going to get to that in a minute, but I think let's talk prior to that happening. Mm-hmm. Like, what was Wes like? What was your family like? Like, what was your professional life like? Like, how old were you? Because I know this happened, quite a few years ago. And I think it's important to kind of set the foundation to what happened prior, then actually we can talk about the day as much as you feel comfortable.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, I'm sure you are okay. I like to say I can't trigger anymore. It's like, people are like, oh, they don't want to say the word fentanyl around me. I'm like, that's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. So let's talk about what we were like before the accident. And if you want to just go ahead and introduce everybody to what happened that day.
Well, I was probably youngest of the family, four of us, my mom and dad. I was they met in Keystone. My dad was a teacher. My mother was a secretary. Actually, I have a teaching degree in Keystone, Iowa. And that's where it all happened. And they had Al, Dennis, and Joni. And of course, Dad, when Benton Community, they merged to Benton Community for 2 years. He then took the job at Prairie in 1967.
Okay.
The year I was born.
Okay.
So I never grew up in Keystone. And going back here, quite often I'd go to some of the old athletes he had. They were athletes, some of their funerals. I'd go to them. And my dad's nickname was Barney. And I just out of respect, I'd go to the funerals, just a visitation, and people did gravitate toward me. Said, "That's Barney's boy. That's Barney's boy." And I was always just looking around. He was so well respected. Yeah. And I look back at that. I think, man, am I living my life right? Yeah. I'm one who always evaluates myself. Always, probably beat myself up more than I should. Yeah. But so getting back to that, I was probably very active, athletically involved, basketball, other sports I tried, but basketball was my thing. Running, exercising, working out, and co-college. Went on to co-college. I tried Nyack, and I think I left Nyack for a couple of days. I was there, and I came back home. I think it was my father. I really did lose my father. And
so how old were you right now during this time that you're talking about?
18, 19,
okay.
Going to that.
This is on your senior in high school, roughly in that area.
And then, and losing my dad that senior in high school. I remember we're at practice that day. It was January 2nd. First day he'd come back from school. My dad, very bullheaded and stubborn, just like me. He would never stay home. And I remember my mom told Laverne, you stay home. Sure enough, he did. And later that night, I'm at practice, and neighbor boy, Kurt Christopherson, comes in, tells Jeff Wessel, my head coach, I don't know what he said to him, but Coach Wessel said, Brunsy, you got to get to the hospital. He probably informed what had happened. But my dad had a blood clot. He stayed home, had a blood clot. He laid in bed, had a blood clot, and he passed. And my brother Al was at law school at Iowa.
How old was your dad when he passed away?
He was 59 years old. And I'm 58.
Yeah.
And
puts in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, blood clot, certainly. And of course, my mother was 53 when she passed with the accident. So, and that, of course, that happened. We got to hold everybody in the family, and it's amazing that it was Concordia Lutheran Church, right over by Hoover School Elementary there. I've never seen so many people in that church. Yeah. And it just kind of hit me. It was hard. Yeah. Of course, then eventually go on to college and not knowing what to do. Here I graduated eventually with a history degree, thinking, but the curiosity made me, I actually eventually wanted to become like a secret agent, do all that. I was curious. I was fit, exercise. I could be like
an FBI guy or something.
G-man. Headphones.
That's right. Yeah.
You need maybe a law degree, police, law enforcement, this, that. So I went, applied for the state patrol and got all the way through the oral board exam. They did everything, and it was intense. That was the same year they had budget cuts. So they didn't hire anybody that year. So that's kind of how that worked out. Well, then I get this job opening comes up at LaSalle High School, sophomore basketball. And I never thought I'd coach basketball. I never thought I had the patience. Right. Not that I didn't want to follow my dad's footsteps, but I would tag along to all his practices on the weekends and during the holidays. A lot of
sacrifices, yeah.
I loved it. And lo and behold, I interviewed, and Mike Fetkeather hired me, and I remember getting my first paycheck. And I literally said, you pay me to do this?
So now you're a sophomore coach, and a couple of years after graduating college,
loving it without a teaching degree. Right. So within that, I've already realized I'm going to go back in my teaching degree.
Yeah, because you're probably capped out how far you can advance.
I want to keep. So I was going back to college. Yeah. So that was the first year. The second year was 1992. Same year Chris Street's accident occurred in January. Of course, that Christmas night is when it happened. So as I said, my dad had passed, My mother, lo and behold, what's interesting, her eventually becomes her husband, Jim Augsburger. He loses his wife to cancer. Same time my dad passed. And they met at a class reunion.
Yeah.
It just worked out perfectly. And
I'm just sitting here thinking, Wes, because my dad's 94 and still alive.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, just
Dad would be about 9. Would he be 99?
I know. I think how grateful I am in that regard.
Yeah.
But then there's other, death is like coming to all of us eventually.
Yeah.
It just comes in order. Sometime you don't expect.
You don't choose. You can't choose.
Now we're getting close to the day that this happened.
Yeah. And what was great about it is, of course, losing Dad, but we're all going to meet. Al's coming from DC with his girlfriend, Agnes Brown.
Yeah.
And sorry.
It's okay, man.
They were going to tell us of their engagement. They both worked for DOJ. Ag was DC through and through. She grew up in Washington, DC, went to all girl Catholic school. Yeah. That's Agnes Brown, Ag Brown. Of course, Dennis was at Iowa City getting his master's in Spanish, worked at CAN bus, kind of dispatcher, Mr. CAN bus. And Joni and Garth, they lived in, at the time, Garth was in the military. They met at Iowa State. Then they went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And eventually, when Garth got out of the military, they went to Atlanta, or actually Roswell, Georgia, Atlanta. Okay. And they lived there at the time. So they were in Atlanta, and they were all coming back for Christmas. And the house that Jim and my mother bought, it was just over the border past south of Keosauqua, Missouri area.
Yeah, I know, right? That is.
If you looked on the map, there's that Memphis. So it's north of Memphis. Okay. It really wasn't a town. I know that it's called Arbela. Arbela is not even a town. And this little home, they had some land, had one sheep, one ram on the premises. And so we had Christmas that night, or that week. Everybody kind of gathered.
So Christmas of what year again?
92.
Okay.
Yeah. And and you go back through it as going through the book. Did you notice something different? Were you sick, nausea, sick feeling? Did you have any feeling that was? I was out shoveling the sheep manure in this little barn he had. Okay. I loved it. I loved exercising.
Yeah, right.
I was doing a lot of that. He had the 4-wheelers. They were driving around. People were having a good old time and enjoying life. But Garth, my brother-in-law, who ends up he becomes very important to my story. He said this, he goes, I do recall when I was inside, it didn't feel great. But when I went outside and rode the 4-wheeler around, got fresh air, I felt better. Now, this was 1992. Right. Think about what we know now.
Yeah, right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Especially social media, technology, everything's been. And of course, we did our things and whatever. We had our family meal in the afternoon. And what's great about it all is we took a big picture of everybody there. Oh, and we have it in our book. And it was there.
How many total people were there then?
There were 10, 11. Alan's 2 kids, Alan Augsburger and Cheryl. Cheryl and her husband, Paul Meineke, they were there with their son, Skylar. They were there throughout the day. They went to, I think, his grandmother's house. Okay. I believe her grandmother's house. Okay. So they didn't stay overnight. Okay. So they were there. Everybody else was there. And we watched, those 2 days, either we watched the movie Misery and Dances with Wolves. Okay. So every time I see those movies come up, Dances with Wolves, I just love that movie. Right. And that was pretty emotional just to watch that.
Back at that time, did they have the detectors for carbon monoxide?
Great question.
Yeah, I'm just curious if they had them back then.
My mother had on the refrigerator, like a magnet. Okay. And it would change color if you detect some carbon monoxide. Really? Kind of looked at that. My sister and I talked about that. And that night, we didn't look at it and notice it. 1993, First Alert comes out with the carbon monoxide
detectors. Next year. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So obviously this is going to be a little bumpy here, I think, as we kind of navigate through this.
That's fine.
So what do you remember? What's the first thing you remember?
I remember kind of enjoying life.
So you went to bed.
Eating cookies and lounging, watching the movie, chilling out, talking, doing what we, and
like everyone does around the holidays. Yeah.
Yep. Joni and Garth is the only, of our family grandchild, Morgan. Morgan was 2 years old, smart as a whip. Smart as a whip. However, asthma runs in our family.
Mm.
And as saying she was blessed to have it, she had it. I didn't have it. Joni had it. Al had it. Dennis did. So it kind of jumped. Everyone. Kind of our family too. It's funny how it works. Well, that evening, more and more, Morgan was succumbing. It's kind of her activities, about be catching her air, a little sweatiness.
Yeah.
And what my brother-in-law Garth made a comment about, he goes, if you look at pictures we took throughout that day, Cheryl's son, Skylar, and Morgan, about the same age, they kind of had like a sweat, like a glow to them, like they were working for their air, oxygen.
Yeah, right.
You know, we never catch on to that. You know,
no, not live, not during the moment.
And it just really makes you think about that. I'm losing my train here.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, what had happened, and eventually we started going to bed, and they said, we got to get her to the hospital. Just kind of struggling. And the nearest hospital was Davis County, which is in Keosauqua.
Are you feeling the same as you had all day? Or
I was feeling fine. I didn't notice really a difference. Like, I'll go downstairs in the basement and sleep on a twin bed, cement floor in the twin bed. It's fine. I'll sleep there. And Dennis was going to sleep in a sleeping bag right there. Al and Agnes were going to go in the back room. And the plan was, I'm not sure where my mom and Jim were going to sleep yet. I don't know the whole story, but you'll see what happens. So I went downstairs. And everyone else, they're going to see her off and see him to the hospital. I guess the originally plan was my mother was going to go with Joni, because not knowing exactly how to get there, we didn't have GPS at the time, how to get to Keosauqua Hospital and through the gravel roads. Well, Garth ended up going because they thought, Garth, you should stay home because you guys are going back to Atlanta tomorrow. Get some rest. Well, Garth, no, I'll take her.
Right.
But we could switch. I'll come back home and we could switch.
Okay.
So the plan was that was going to happen. I was told I think that was the plan. Well, I guess that didn't happen so well. When they left, the weirdest feeling, the last thought is I wanted to get up and say goodbye to them, tell them goodbye. I was downstairs and laid down. But my body apparently told me not to, that I couldn't do it. I was already succumbing to it, because you'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And Garth left, came back. So about 5 o'clock the next morning, so we're all apparently sleeping in bed. Garth
5
comes
o'clock
in.
the next morning.
He comes in the front door. He comes in. He looks to the window. He could see apparently my mother and Jim were laying on the kitchen floor. And he said, that's exactly basically where, when I left, they were standing right there.
Oh,
so
man.
it must have happened that fast. And he comes in the room not knowing, he's tired. He just comes crawling in. He wants to go to bed. And as he walked, this was Garth telling this story. Obviously, he's having post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
It was tough for him.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful he told this story.
Yeah.
Because he gets in pretty detailed. Anyway, he says, so I go lay in the bed, and he hears this loud snoring. And down the hallway, a small little bathroom, little vent, Alan Augsburger, Jim's son, was in there. And he was laying on the toilet, so he just kind of propped up, snoring, sleeping. He was sleeping. Okay? That was loud snoring. So Garth goes back to bed, sleeps, and all of a sudden he hears this loud scream. Well, they have a dog, a schnauzer, named Salem, just screaming like a child, and went to wake him up. And from the noise, he wanted to get up. He had a hard time. He said it took him 45 minutes to an hour because he looked at the clock to get up. His body was just frozen.
Couldn't move
because of carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
And eventually he gets down, he rolls, he gets to the garage, opens windows, and he starts.
And now he knows what it is.
Well, he wasn't sure if it's food poisoning or what. Everything's going through his mind.
And you can't smell it, right?
No, can't smell it, nothing. You don't see it, no, nothing.
Wow.
And what he did, eventually he gets on the phone, not knowing where this is located, and somehow gets 911, gets emergency. Sheriff Snodgrass, Sheriff Snodgrass was going to retire the next week.
Okay.
And obviously a very experienced gentleman.
Yeah.
And he asked, where's he? It's by these two churches, all the directions. I know where at. He shows up. First responders start coming. And as Garth starts opening windows, which helps him get more air.
Right.
He goes, when I went around to the bodies, just to see, I could tell they had passed because their skin was turning purple and they're foaming at the mouth. He goes, I knew the ones that survived. This is, I said, this is pretty detailed. They had just vomited. And then, of course, we were, 4 had passed and we were unresponsive, 3 of us.
So 4 passed, 3 were on the way to pass if someone doesn't show up, right? Probably.
Yes, no question. No question. Well, a helicopter also came too. And Sheriff Snodgrass had come to Garth. Basically, he was very good at organizing things, getting everybody out of the house. And he says, is this everybody? And Garth said, I almost forgot about you downstairs. So he went down. Obviously, I'd vomited. He carried me up the stairs. I had a gash on the side of my head because I did try to get up. I did try to get up and I gashed my head. Do you have
much memory of this stuff?
No.
Interesting.
A gash on my head.
Yeah.
And he goes, when I pulled you up the stairs, I pulled a part of my rib cage out. I was 170 pounds then.
Yeah.
And he pulled me up the stairs and they took Alan Augsburger to the Columbia University because they thought he was in the worst shape. He needed immediate help. Agnes and I eventually went to Chesterfield, Missouri, St. Luke's Hospital. They flew us there. And obviously right away, the hyperbaric chambers, Dr. John A. Davidson. And I think about all that, just the scene.
Yeah.
I hate to say it just was, you don't imagine that. You don't think about that. How could that have happened? And to think about that picture we took, just hours earlier, the night.
There's things when you look back at these moments and, it's like, especially the picture stuff. It's like you look at things and, oh man, I'm just feeling every word you said. I'm as we all do when you hear a story like that, you kind of put yourself in that shoe. Like I put myself in your shoes, and I'm sure people do that when they hear my story. But so, unfortunately for you, that wasn't the end of a lot of the suffering and pain that you've been through in your life. And it wasn't. And, it's hard to imagine that there was more coming, that you weren't prepared. No one's prepared for what was about to come next. So,
they said, when they loaded me up in the hospital or in the helicopter, I despise flying. I get turbulence. I sweat like crazy. That I think I squeezed a finger. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember the flight at all. But getting to the hospital, of course, that happened on a Friday night, Christmas night. I didn't come out of a coma until Wednesday. So what do I say? I missed some days.
Right.
I don't know if that's my humor or just thinking. And of course, I had everything hooked up on my body and everything. And my college friends who doing the whole book thing, I'm allotted pictures for the book, and I don't have a group of everybody together. So I'm listing them as my buddies, my fellas.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
All of them were there. They're reading me box scores of games. Of course, I was all hooked up. I couldn't respond to them. And they're at the hotel. I'm thinking, hey, that sounds great. I'll come over with you guys.
Right.
You're not.
Yeah.
You can't help. That's my stubbornness. And it was just, and my best friend, Craig Sainer, when he heard the news of what had happened, I think they were at a movie or something that happened. It's just crazy. And to this day, I'm just shocked at how I made it through. And I told you, my physical conditioning saved me.
Yeah, I'm going back to like what, for me, it was sobriety.
Yeah.
It was stop drinking. Yeah. And then I could fight these things sober.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when I was medicating with alcohol, I couldn't really deal with anything. And so for me, if someone asked me what's the 1 or 2 things why you're still here, I don't know if I was in pretty good mental shape. Mm-hmm. My physical shape, I wasn't good because I was drinking. I was alcoholic for 30 years. So I was 192 pounds when Seth passed, and I'm 150 now. But so for me, it's like sobriety allowed me to be in clear mind. In your case, being in good physical shape really helped you. And I'm sure that your mental shape was good too, right? Because an athlete, you have to be kind of tough. You have to be pretty resilient, right?
Yeah, you had to, because I went on to coach track, cross country, running. That's the one thing when I came in, Dr. Davidson had said, you're going to have to train like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Of course, I was out. My buddy said I was strapped down to the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to pull to get out. Pulled my tubes out once, I believe, once or twice, as my son Eli has done. It's kind of funny. And I found my way. After 3 days, I was able to walk, trying to walk. My buddies would help me. My balance was so bad. It was incredibly horrible.
Yeah, as an athlete, it's probably frustrating as heck, you know.
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
And I started to walk the stairs, and then I'd take the elevator back down. I wouldn't run them, but I wouldn't go down the stairs either.
Yeah.
And Dr. Davidson said, "You're the first patient I've ever had this done. When I do my rounds, I go in there, the nurse is there. Just, where's Wes? he's on the stairs."
Yeah.
He goes, right then and there, I knew you don't need physical therapy, because they'd put me down in the wheelchair, roll me down to physical therapy, and I'd wait in line. I just sat there. I got so bored.
Yeah.
I wanted to go, because I wanted to get back to my boys.
Right.
This is my second year coaching. I was able to have a phone conversation with them. That was really emotional too. Those guys. Oh, here's one thing I'll say. I told this to my ghostwriter. I said, just to have all those coaches, all those players throughout all those years, even track and cross country kids, to see them in one big room. Oh, I'd be just.
What people don't realize is the impact like having a community like that is, because I remember when Seth died, like Ian had a golf tournament. See, he died in October. So it would have been the next year. So it would have been Ian's like junior year. I remember the first tournament. But it was a group where all the schools came together.
Oh, Crandick
that was it.
Mississippi Valley.
It was the Crandick, I think. Yeah, it was the first tournament of the year. And, you know, Ian had been, in the Gazette, because he was raising money through golf, kind of honor his brother. And I remember coming up to Ellis, parked my car, and walked up, and my wife was with me, and the Xavier coach was up there.
Yeah.
He's since passed, great guy.
Yeah.
And he summoned like his players over and asked if it was okay if he prayed for our family. And we walked up there, and then, the Linmar team came over, and I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, just, and that's what makes me want to pay it back.
Yeah.
Not pay it back, pay it forward.
Yeah.
But it's like at that point, then I was given like this opportunity, it's like not a debt to pay like a negative thing, but more like an obligation.
Yeah.
Like I felt compelled. And that whole year after Ian died is where I would say my advocacy was born. But in the middle of the advocacy is a damn fight, man. Like, your story goes on, and so does mine, obviously, with my wife dying. And it's to the point where I've realized you never reach any summit. You never reach any closure. You just evolve. You just keep growing, and you keep learning, and keep curious, and share your story like you're doing. So if other people, and it doesn't have to be fentanyl, carbon monoxide, or alcohol. It could be cancer, car accidents, anything. Death is permanent. It's it. And so it's how you deal with the event that defines you, not the event itself. And I went around for a couple of years, and I subconsciously played the sympathy card. I liked it when people felt sorry for me. Like it made me feel good. Boy, I outgrew that real quick. More now, now I accept it if someone gives me a little bit of pity, but I'm certainly like you, not out looking for it. It's like I've way moved past that. Now I want someone to say, "Can I help?"
Yeah.
Like when I got your message on Facebook, we were having a conversation. Yeah. You said your book, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. I want to help you. And that's like all I'm asking for other advocates, other dads and moms, brothers and sisters have lost people they care about in any manner. Show the compassion, show the empathy, show up for the service, do what you're going to do. But instead of saying thoughts and prayers, do something. Ask them, how can I help? Do you have a nonprofit? I'll go knock on doors. I'll go raise money for you. Are you writing a book? Interview me. I'll talk to you about it. It's like, and that's what I think if we all did more of less talk and more action, I think we really start moving humanity to a better place. Because right now it's the other way around. Everyone's talk. Nobody's action. Especially if you're on social media, it's all negative talk.
Yeah.
And I admire what you're doing, Wes, with you know what you've been through, because you've, like me in a way, have defined it in a positive way. If there's a possible way for your story to have a positive outcome, there has to be, though, because the alternative is you and I taking our own lives or something. And that's what's positive in that. And I've been close. I mean, I've shared it publicly. When my wife passed, my mom died 4 months later. And that Christmas, I sat in my closet with a loaded gun to my head. Christmas 2021. This is 5 years ago, dude. This isn't like when I was, 12. This was this was recently. But someone asked me the other day, what are you most proud of, Jeff? You build up Premier Investments of Iowa. You're an author. You're a podcast host. You're now a startup founder. I said, I'm most proud that I didn't pull that trigger in my closet. That's the most fucking thing I'm proud of, man, is that I sat there for 3 days, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I couldn't do it. And if I'd been drinking, I probably would have done it. But man, when you get that close to the abyss and you've been there and you're doing the rope-a-dope, and death's coming at you, and I don't know how religious you are. I'm not, but if you are, then the devil's coming at. It's like whatever metaphor you want to use. It's like, and you get past that, you're unstoppable. Don't you think? Yeah.
I'm sorry if we all have our adversities. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I say basically in a nutshell, I think I'm living through my family members.
Yeah.
They would want me to do it. They want me to do this stuff.
I love that.
My dad coached.
I love that.
Here's a story.
They're proud of you.
My mother and Al came to my first year. I think I was coaching. I know they were coming, and they were setting up in the visitors section, apparently over at LaSalle, not knowing. After the game, I don't know if we won or lost. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
She comes up to me, my mother, just to hear her words. She says, "You are your dad."
What a compliment. Yeah, I would love it. If I could be half my dad, man, I'd be a proud man.
Exactly. Because I think about, I'm still coaching this to this day, and I'm always learning, always constant learning. In my younger days, I know it all. I'm son of a coach. I know it all. Well, I was humbled quick, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And it's every day we're all learning and sharing stories, being an advocate for people, helping people to grow and get better. It's constant, and we need more of it. I hope my story sells. It's just not about carbon monoxide poisoning, losing a loved one,
Right.
I mean, having
it's
kids
bigger than that.
NICU for 170 days. It's about a relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
It could get torn quickly, but I'm definitely married up, and I'm so blessed.
I did too, by the way.
I'm so blessed and grateful. It's so I think it's important to do this. What's cool is when I had, as I said, kind of thought I was retired doing the book, I'm a co-graduate. So I had a summer of no basketball. That's been 33 years.
Like, what do you do?
Exactly. Steve Bergman kind of said the same thing, Bergie at West.
Oh yeah, West, yeah.
And sure enough, when did Coach Pan call me? Co-coach calls me, "Hey, would you like to volunteer your time with us? We're a young staff.
Yeah.
I know you're very experienced." I should say I'm an old fart.
Yeah.
Maybe you're an old Jedi Master.
Sure.
And I loved it. I was there for about a month. I loved it.
I bet.
I just loved it. Guys were great. They welcomed me. And then what's funny is, at Xavier for 3 years coaching all sports, it seemed like, basketball, track, cross country, and teaching world history. Well, Mike Freeman, who I coached at Xavier, of course, he's actually he calls me. Of course, John Gianforte was the boys' sophomore coach, and he got the girls' job when Coach Lilly had retired.
Yeah.
And I just kind of sat back, didn't ask anything about it. Mike calls me, "Hey, would you want the sophomore job?" And right away, my eyes lit up, and I checked with my wife, said, "Will this work with our busing with Eli, the schedule? What time are we going to practice?" All that worked out perfect. I said, "You bet." And getting back in the gym with those boys was great. I love this year.
Only imagine.
We took a picture of the kids in the practice gym. That's in the book, and another picture of me coaching them in the during timeout. So we have that in there too.
No,
I think that was important.
So your current family situation. So how many kids you got, and just kind of
4.
maybe share the story.
Okay, we have Allie. Allie is at Kirkwood. She actually works at a doggy daycare. She's been doing that. She's going to graduate. She's going to move on. She's going to move to an apartment now in August, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Grace is first year at Kirkwood.
Okay.
Soccer player.
Okay.
She wants to get back, I think, in the soccer area. So she's going to transfer back to Mount Mercy.
Okay. That's
her goal. Mount Mercy next year. She's at Kirkwood now. And of course, the twins, Eli and Anna. Eli's at Prairie. He's a freshman.
Okay.
From the hallways there.
Okay.
And Anna's a freshman at Xavier. Anna is in the band. I think she's come a long ways. I remember band camp last year. You kind of laugh at. It's pretty intense. It's real intense. And looking from where she came from, she was shy. And showing up to see her walk out on the field. One of the first when they come out in the field, she was one of the lead. She was a lead girl.
That's cool.
And with the flute.
That's cool.
There's Anna. She's come a long way. It's been great.
I love it.
And it's, And I tell my boys every year, I tell the kids, I said, guys, I'm going to coach you like you're my son. My son will never play a sport.
Yeah.
He'll never. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way you've reframed everything is opportunities, versus being a victim.
It's got to be.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Where do you get your strength from? Like, where do you, what well do you tap? I mentioned faith and stuff. I mean, I'm just guessing you're probably a man of God. I don't know very well. I don't know you well, but it seems like you articulate that.
I wish I attended church more often.
Yeah.
Quite often when we first started, Holly was a churchgoer regular every week. Often I was home with Eli. When we take Eli out, his issue deals with, he's almost like the boy in the bubble.
Yeah.
Not the John Travolta movie,
right.
But he gets his respiratory really nasty. It gets really bad. So, and springtime is horrible for it. And so oftentimes I'll stay home. And nowadays with COVID, you can watch Mass and you can do it online. And the girls are getting older, so and oftentimes I should go to church more often with Holly all the time. But I'm a firm believer.
Yeah.
And it's funny you brought that up, the whole religious aspect. John Reed, who has been wonderful for us with photography, he asked me I think he brought it about seeing the light, or I know you were a near-death experience. And there was one point I would do this. I literally would wake up at 3:00 in the morning in the hospital, hit the call button, want my cereal. I thought it was almost, I felt one day it was just a matter of, I just made a huge jump of advancement, felt stronger. And I was just wanting food.
Did you have any near-death experience that you recall?
I do not recall that at all.
Like even in the hospital, any?
Not a light or anything, or just the fact that when I gashed my head, the hyperbaric chamber, how quickly that healed that wound, incredible. My hair grew, nails grew. It's nuts.
See, I'm agnostic, so it's like I was an atheist my whole life, and I've kind of like graduated. So atheism claims that for a fact there isn't God, and I kind of played that card for a long time. Didn't know any better. And then agnostic just says, I don't know, but I'm open to anything.
Yeah.
That's what my heart is. It's like, I'm not, it's like, it'd be easy for me if I was a strong believer in God to get mad at God.
Yes.
Like, why take Seth? Why take my son?
Yep.
And then if you're not a believer, then you're like, why'd this happen? Like, and so agnostics struggle with meaning and purpose sometimes because I can't like fill that gap, like, and put God in there. Like, God's all knowing, all caring. There's a reason why this happened. There's things happen for a reason. I've always struggled with that. And then when Seth and Prudence died, I'm like, what possible reason could there be for that? And if there is, I have two options. I sit and wait for somebody to come tell me what to do, or I just go do something. And I did the latter. And I still have yet of any, I haven't had anything really happen. The only closest thing I would say I came to God would be in my psychedelic assisted therapy that I do. So I'm 3 years ago, I got into psychedelics, and they've been transformational for me, just my ego and neuroplasticity kind of opening up different stories I can tell myself.
Yeah.
Like you're always free to tell yourself any story you want, and what the psychedelics did for me was allow me to entertain other opportunities, other narratives that I could tell myself. They're not for everybody. And I think there's a lot of research right now with veterans, like for PTSD. That's like where I think the first big rush will be in this country will be for vets. Everyone wants to help a vet, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to say no to a vet. Yeah. And there is a lot of studies that it's worked. But for me, that was like the first, like having a psychedelic experience. I had very like godlike visuals, feelings, like a massive sense of a presence. But it wasn't Seth and Prudence. Yeah. It wasn't my grandpa, and it wasn't, it was us. That's what I sensed. I didn't sense an individual entity. I sensed collective consciousness, like all of us together. Like we're the same people. We're just having a different experience. Yeah. That's what I got from my psychedelics. Now, if that's God, then so be it. Some people have these experiences and they claim they spoke to God, and that's cool. As long whatever helps you to get through your fight, right? Isn't that really what Pathway is all about? Like having a,
certainly,
it's
interesting you bring that up. Our last game, well, we were supposed to play Cedar Falls, our last game of the year, we canceled because of the weather. We played Prairie on a Tuesday night. Very good Prairie team. And we had played pretty well. They had a good year. And sure enough, I decided I'm going to read the prologue of the book to the boys.
Oh, okay.
They knew I was doing this book.
Yeah.
And of course, I think a lot of them knew my history with Prairie. Yeah. My dad coached and everything. Knew, and it was kind of a big game for me,
Yeah.
And
kind of.
I was emotional reading. I was in tears pre-game.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, how are they going to react to it?
Yeah.
Come out all, some senior nights or colleges, they go sappy, sad. And other nights they play inspired. Well, they played inspired.
I bet they did.
And after the game, we somehow won the game, and it all ran in the locker room. And before I was driving out to the game, I kind of had a thought prayer to everybody, and not wishing for a win, but just saying hi. I'm here. And I ran to that locker room, and it's Niagara Falls. And I go in there, the kids look at me, and I think, oh no, what's wrong with Coach? And I just screamed at him. I said, I am so happy for you guys.
I know. You get overwhelmed with gratitude.
Because they just played. I said, my dad would be so happy for you, how hard you played.
See, this is where that movie idea.
They played together. They really did.
Come together for you, because
played together.
I think it's just a story of never giving up and letting time become your friend. And I think as I get further away from the 2 calls I got, it gets different. It's not easier. It's different. Like the weight of everything is different. Like I used to cry a lot, and it was suffering, like pain. And now it's like a lot more gratitude.
I start doing this. I tell them, it's okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like they think, oh no, he's crying. What's wrong? Is everything? No, everything's fine.
Right. It's hard to explain to someone.
For me, it's a cry of happiness.
Yeah.
Kind of in a way. I just know I will see them again. And I always joke that my brother Al, the lawyer, is sitting next to God. The lawyer,
a lawyer and a God. That starts a lot of jokes.
Why did it have to be this way?
Yeah,
but he was a man of few words. But when he spoke, he was very sharp. And so that was. But no, I like going to, when I see Al and Dennis's friends, I really like to go up and talk to them, because they want to talk to me. I just remember
I don't know how much you know about Stoicism, but a lot of my, like, where I'm at today is kind of my Stoic philosophy, and Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus and Seneca. Those are all just like, and you go back and you read like Meditations from Marcus Aurelius, which I've read a number of different times. It's like it could have been written today. Yeah, like it's so appropriate. It's like, and then you start thinking about, man, if we haven't really learned much, over the years, we're still repeating the same things as humans, just the self-inflicted suffering, the negative self-talk, the I'm not worthy. I made a post today on LinkedIn. I don't know if you saw it, but it was about my wife's 5-year death anniversary is coming up in a couple months, and I haven't been on a date in 5 years. And it's not because I don't want to, because I would dishonor her. I mean, she would want me to fall back in love and all that and enjoy my last years here on the earth. But I wrote it like, I don't know. I felt like I needed to share for those people out there that have been through a situation like mine, that are widowed or whatever. You need to fall back in love with yourself. And I hated myself so much, Wes, when my son and my wife died. Like, I was the captain, dude.
Yeah.
I failed as a dad. I failed as a husband, failed as an advocate. I failed. And I'm like, I'm going to fail as a boyfriend. I'm going to fail as a new husband. So it's like, and I needed years to get that self-talk out of my head, and through meditation and psychedelics and breath work and this podcast and sharing and writing. I love to write. It's like, I'm getting close. I mean, my heart's open now that if the right person came along, but I don't want to force it. I don't want to go and do a dating apps and all that stuff. It's just like, that to me just isn't me. It's just not me. Maybe it works for other people, but and that's the part of my journey. That's probably the thing I've finally come to realize is I'm very lonely sometimes, but man, I'm not alone. I have so much love in my life. I have my son and his wife live with me. My other son and his boyfriend are there most of the time. 3 cats and 2 dogs. Dude, sometimes I want to be lonely. Sometimes I'm like, I want to be alone. It's like when they're all gone and I'm by myself, it's like, but then I'm like, imagine if it was this way every day, Jeff, how much you'd hate it. We got to be around people, Yeah. So, let's the book real quickly. How can people get the book? I will promote it on my channels, and
it's okay. Number one, we hope to have it done in the summertime.
Yeah.
And I was told, don't say a date. So we're in that process. It's really getting cleaned up right now.
Yeah.
We have the cover, everything's done. And I'm excited for it.
Do you have a name picked out?
When Life Changes the Game.
Yeah.
Now on that cover, John Reed and I went to LaSalle High School during spring break, middle school. It's where it all started, my coaching career. And I thought of, my wife's taking credit for it, but maybe she is. Dark gym. We opened the door in the far right corner. And that glowing light in there.
Crack a light.
You can see maybe the basket, the free throw line. You see the court. We put a basketball down with the whistle. And John took a picture of that. And I had mentioned, what if I took a knee there and looked over at the corner?
Yeah.
And he says,
like your back, like a silhouette.
A silhouette sideways looking at the corner. That to me, that's the heavens.
Cool.
And I'm looking over there, and it's very powerful. And on the back, we have writing on the back of the book. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet. We'll just have the basketball and the whistle on the back, like I'm gone. Which hopefully there's many more years left, and that's kind of life. And
you know something, and this probably would be hard for people to relate that haven't been through loss like we've been through loss. You learn to understand how precious life is. Like, I bet when you kiss your kids or you hug them, you don't waste the chance to say, I love you. Right. Because I never told my dad that ever until Seth and Prudence died. And then my dad almost died when I was on my tour around the United States. He had a stomach aneurysm. I say, I love you every time I see my dad. I hold his hand, I cry with him. It's like, I was not that guy. I was not that guy. I don't think I cried at all before Seth died, ever,
Yeah, that's an emotional time. And to do all that, back in the day, it's not everyone, I love you.
Yeah.
I do that hugging better. I go up to be like, I'll see, and what's crazy, since I've started this book, I'll run into some of my old former players that I haven't seen forever.
Yeah.
I tell them about it, or I give them a hug, and they look at me like, wow. And just powerful. And just hugging them, and I'll say, give me a hug, you bastard. I give him a little hug, and it's what it is.
Well, you, I'm real proud of you, man. I'm real proud of you. You look good. Your aura's good. You have a good, I think you have a really unique talent to maybe and I'm sure you are aware, maybe you're not, but to inspire, to bring people up that are struggling. It's like, that is a gift, friend. That is a gift. And this is where, maybe God put you in this position because you have that gift, right? I don't know. I'm just speculating. Maybe in your case, there is a legitimate reason, because you have this special skill set where you're impacting, and the people that lost their lives that evening or that morning, their legacy is living because of you. Like I always told people, the minute I stop talking about Seth and Prudence, they really die. And in my mind, they're not dead in a way. I know they are, but not here. And if I don't talk about them, who's gonna, right? It's like, who's gonna continue these stories, right?
Yeah, it is taking things for granted. You cannot. They're here 1 minute, gone the next. And I think of, it's always hard and they're always tough. You just can't. You just show up for people. You be there for them because you don't know what everybody's thinking.
Right.
Just being part of people's lives.
Because most people aren't going to tell you what they're really thinking.
Yeah. And it's so important. And it's just a blessing. I've got great kids, super wife, supportive wife.
Sounds like
Holly's tremendous. She always has her opinion on basketball, and quite often she's correct. It's kind of fun. She knows it's all been good, and because she knows I'm taking this journey. Where it takes me, I have no idea.
I don't either.
And you watch all these different shows, inspirational stories. I'm like, wow, this kind of looks like I could tell a story of this, because now knowing that now the detectors, we would have had them in the house, it wouldn't have happened, but maybe there's a reason why it happened.
Yeah.
It sucked going through that. It sucked going through adversity, not able to, the coordination, short-term memory loss. It's, and when I came back from the hospital, I was in an apartment with Jeff Schulte. I'll say his name. Mm-hmm. We were at those apartments on top of the hill off the interstate up there in the north part of town. And Oakland Road, Hy-Vee. I remember, of course, I was 155 pounds. So I dropped 15 pounds. And I walked in there and I could tell, I recognized people's, but I couldn't remember their names. Tip of the tongue. It was so frustrating. I mean, people that I should know their names. Yeah. It was so.
Has it gotten better?
It's gotten better, but there's moments that I don't have it.
Yeah.
I always write notes down. My phone notes is filled.
I got sticky notes all over my.
That is me.
Yeah.
Because it's, long term is fine. It's crazy what it does. But the hand dexterity, if I'm hand out papers, I was always licking them with my fingers. It just, that's what it affects.
No, it's, it happens eventually anyway for a lot of us as you get older, but in your case, it's a little bit accelerated.
Yeah. Very,
but
very
again, there are lots of evidence. There's evidence out there that memory you can work. There's things the food you eat, the reading and conversation and exercise, those keep what you have the best that they can.
I think cardio. Yeah. I love cardio. I ride the bike now. I don't run anymore.
I do elliptical. I can't run in cement.
Yeah.
It kills my knees and my back. Yeah. Elliptical, I can run for miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biking, I like to get into. I just haven't done it yet. Do you do like the street bikes or do more of the?
I just do the bike at the gym.
Oh, okay.
We have a cross trainer.
Yeah.
I love riding hills.
Yeah.
I used to run hills all the time. So what do I do? Like resistance. And that's what I like doing. And
I think since you're an athlete, I think that helps a lot. I really do, because I think I've tapped a lot of my competitiveness during this thing. Like, I'm not going to let death win. I'm not going to let suicidal ideation win. I'm not going to let alcohol win. I've turned these all into like competitive events, like me versus alcohol, me versus, I had a gambling addiction for a few years. It's like me versus suffering, me versus pain, me versus negativity.
That's a really good point. And it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because, boy, you never tell me not to do it.
That's what I mean.
You can't do that. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Tell Wes no. How's that going to go?
It just,
Yeah.
And do you remember when you first had that little competitive fire?
I do. Not a specific instance, but I remember growing up with three brothers playing flag football, and our next door neighbor was Tim Dwight.
Really?
But that was a little bit older story, but he was our next door neighbor. But playing flag football with all the kids there, and with three brothers, and my dad, my dad was a multi-sport athlete. Yeah. I don't know if you know that. Hall of Fame at Co. Yeah. Bill Fitch was his roommate. He's the Hall of Fame at Iowa as well. And I just grew up in that time when you just figured shit out, and if you didn't, you fought over it. It's like, and then whoever won. It's like, it's a different world today, in regards to coping mechanisms, things like that. But
good point.
Yeah.
And it was for me, I was taught how to play pool. It was my dad, his good friend, Lloyd Spear. Lloyd was a pool shark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his wife, Katie, babysat me. And sure enough, guess who teaches me how to play pool? Katie.
Yeah.
And so I started playing pool. I wasn't bad, but I'd play my dad pool. We had a pool table in the basement.
Yeah.
And I knew,
so do we.
When I knew he was
fist fights with my brothers over pool.
I knew when he was going to beat me.
Yeah.
I had like a burning. I couldn't describe it.
I know.
And I right away I was like, what is this?
I know.
I hate to lose mentality. But I was calm about it. But it's like,
we had battles.
Yeah.
And then you get out in real life and you get older and you kind of reflect on those. But listen, we're out of time, but this was great. I'm really, really happy you came in, took the time to come in the studio. And once the book is out there and can be purchased, I'll do what I can to help you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.